In an era shrouded in mystery and fear, one of the darkest chapters of human history unfolded. The medieval period, a time often associated with knights, castles, and fairy tales, also witnessed a horrifying phenomenon that swept across continents like a malevolent wave. The witch hunts. These were not isolated incidents of paranoia but a complex web of fear and superstition that ensnared entire communities, towns, and even nations. The witch hunts were not just a medieval occurrence but a phenomenon that peaked during the early modern period, revealing a darker side to a time of great change and turmoil. So what sparked this widespread panic and dread? Several factors, all intertwined, laid the groundwork for this grim chapter. The Middle Ages were a time of social upheaval, with societal structures shifting and new ideas challenging old beliefs. This created an atmosphere ripe for suspicion and mistrust. Religious conflict played a significant role as well. The medieval period saw the rise of diverse religious movements, many of which clashed with the established church. These tensions often manifested in accusations of heresy, which in turn led to accusations of witchcraft. Lastly, the fear of the unknown was a constant companion in the medieval world. With limited understanding of the natural world, events like crop failures, illnesses, and unexpected deaths were often attributed to supernatural causes, with witches as the convenient scapegoats. In this volatile mix of fear, suspicion, and religious fervor, the concept of witchcraft took root, and the hunt for witches began. Thousands were accused, subjected to harrowing trials, and met gruesome fates, all in the name of purging evil from society. The witch hunts were not just a medieval occurrence but a complex phenomenon that peaked during the early modern period. This was a time when humanity's fear and misunderstanding cast a long, dark shadow, a shadow from which emerged the chilling silhouette of the witch. As we delve deeper into this dark chapter, we'll uncover the true stories behind the witch hunts, the societal forces that fueled them, and the fates of those caught in the frenzy. Both the church and secular authorities played crucial roles in the persecution of witches. This was a time when the separation of church and state was virtually non-existent, and their combined influence was monumental, creating a potent environment ripe for fear and suspicion. To understand this, we must first delve into the mindset of the Middle Ages. Imagine a world where the supernatural was as real as the natural, where demons lurked in every shadow and every misfortune was a sign of divine displeasure. In such a world, the concept of witchcraft was not only plausible, but a terrifying reality. The church, being the moral compass and spiritual authority of the time, played a significant role in shaping these beliefs. Clergy members often preached about the dangers of witchcraft, stoking the flames of fear. They warned of witches consorting with the devil, casting spells and causing all manner of calamity. This narrative, spread from the pulpit, was accepted as gospel truth, fueling paranoia and hysteria. On the other hand, secular authorities, including kings and local rulers, were often more concerned with maintaining order and control. To them, the threat of witchcraft was a severe violation of the peace. Hence, they passed laws and edicts making witchcraft a crime punishable by death. The infamous Malleus Maleficarum, also known as the Hammer of Witches, is a prime example of this. This book, written by two German monks, was endorsed by the church and used by secular courts. It served as a guide to identifying, prosecuting, and executing witches, thereby providing a chilling blueprint for the witch trials. The church and the state, working hand in hand, established a legal and moral framework that validated the people's fears and legitimized the horrific persecution. They created a system where accusations were easy to make, proof was unnecessary, and punishment was swift and brutal. Through edicts, laws, and trials, they established a legal framework that legitimized and fueled the witch hunts. This collaboration between the church and state amplified the fear and hysteria, turning the witch hunts into one of history's darkest chapters. Hear the tales of those who were caught in the frenzy, from famous cases like the Pendle witches to the countless forgotten victims. The personal stories of those accused of witchcraft are as haunting as they are heartbreaking. Many of these tales have been lost to the sands of time, their voices silenced by the cruel hand of history. However, a few have managed to echo through the centuries, providing us with a chilling glimpse into the depths of human fear and irrationality. Take, for instance, the case of the Pendle witches. In the early 17th century, in the shadow of Pendle Hill in Lancashire, England, a frenzy of accusations led to the trial and execution of 10 people. They were mainly women, some of whom were related, and all were accused of using witchcraft to murder or harm others. Their trial was a spectacle of the time, drawing crowds from near and far, and the testimonies given, particularly by a 9-year-old girl, sent chills down the spines of those present. Explore the grim methods used to extract confessions and the criteria for proving witchcraft. Let's delve into the chilling practices that characterized the medieval witch hunts. These methods of madness were as diverse as they were terrifying, often involving physical and psychological torment designed to extract confessions from the accused. One of the most notorious practices was the infamous witch tests. These were ostensibly designed to prove whether someone was a witch or not, but in reality, they were often rigged to ensure a guilty verdict. The most well-known of these was the swimming test. The accused would be bound and thrown into a body of water. If they floated, they were deemed to be a witch, as it was believed that water, being a pure element, rejected the guilty. If they sank and drowned, they were considered innocent. A grim lose-lose situation indeed. Another method was pricking or scratching. This involved probing the suspect's skin with a needle in search of the devil's mark, a spot where it was believed a witch would feel no pain. The irony was that these marks could be as mundane as moles, scars, or birthmarks, turning natural human imperfections into supposed signs of guilt. Torture was also widely used to extract confessions. The rack, thumbscrews, and strappado were among the terrifying devices employed. The pain inflicted was often so unbearable that many would confess to witchcraft, simply to end their suffering. But it wasn't just physical torment that the accused had to endure. Psychological torture was also a common practice. The accused were often kept in isolation, deprived of food and sleep, and subjected to relentless questioning. This mental torment would often break the strongest of wills, leading to false confessions born out of desperation. These twisted methods of extracting confessions and proving witchcraft served as a chilling reflection of the times. They reveal a society gripped by fear and superstition, ready to affirm guilt at any cost. The use of torture and the infamous witch tests reveal a chilling willingness to affirm guilt at any cost. What led to the decline of the witch hunts? As the 17th century drew to a close, the hysteria and fear that had once gripped entire continents began to wane. It was a complex interplay of factors that signaled the end of this terrifying epoch. One of the key elements was a shift in societal attitudes. As people began to question the validity of the trials, skepticism grew. The voices of reason and rationality started to drown out the cries of superstition and fear. Legal reforms also played a significant role. Courts started requiring more substantial evidence before convicting someone of witchcraft, making it increasingly difficult to condemn individuals based on hearsay and conjecture alone. But perhaps the most influential factor was the rise of scientific understanding. As the Age of Enlightenment dawned, empirical evidence and logical reasoning replaced fear and superstition. The advancement of science and reason finally brought an end to this dark chapter. The witch hunts left a lasting impact on society and culture. As we reflect on this turbulent chapter of our history, we see how the legacy of the witch hunts continues to shape our modern views. The trials and tribulations of those accused have reshaped our understanding of justice, highlighting the necessity for due process and the presumption of innocence. The superstitions that fueled this frenzy have taught us the danger of unfounded fears and the potential harm of unchecked rumors. The power of fear, once used to manipulate and control, is now a cautionary tale. We've learned the importance of questioning, of seeking truth over easy answers, of not letting fear cloud our judgment. The witch hunts may be a relic of the past, but their lessons remain relevant. They serve as a stark reminder of the dangers of hysteria and the importance of critical thinking and tolerance. It's a story of our past that continues to inform our future.